morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whenever you're watching me right now. My name is Jay Luke, the owner and operator of the Passionate Network, and I'm also the host of Talk That Talk. Remember, you can get any of our merchandise right here on this channel. All you got to do is click the little thing down there. It pops up, it shows the merchandise, and then after that, you can click on it and go through the store, look at some stuff, put it all in your cart, and then when you get down to your final purchase, you can get 30% off that final purchase. Just type in HBCU band. That's the promo code to get 30% off your final purchase. Also, as you're watching this, go ahead and give me a like, a thumbs up. Go ahead and help that YouTube algorithm, and make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network. Okay, this is the last receipts episode that I'm going to have. And it comes right in the midst of, appreciate you. It comes right in the midst of homecoming week, not only for my alma mater, but also for PV. So today is Friday. I think have you already had the Super Hump Day? I think Super Hump Day has already happened. But regardless, set your homecoming out, set it out, set it out, set it out. So happy homecoming to Prairie View A&M University, as well as my alma mater, Norfolk State University. You guys just had your MD Thursday. Multiple videos have gone up on MD Thursday. I've been watching them in and out. But for this last receipts, though, I found it very difficult to have one just to settle on. And so what I decided to do on this last receipts was I was going to go through a couple of performances that we had during my time, as an assistant band director at Prairie View A&M University. Just some of those really, I felt, at least me, I felt that they were really good moments. I feel like the students felt like they were really good moments. I feel like the staff felt like it was a really good moment. So you know what? These are the moments that I'm going to go through. So the first one is, I think it was 2014, fifth quarter, Texas Southern University, and we played Show the World. So this was arranged by me. Okay, so here we go. Neck in the fifth? I don't remember that. First year that we played this neck? I think this was the first year that we played this neck. It may have been this year or the previous year. It was either 2013 or 2014. the whole show the world thing, it kind of, well, first of all, I just kind of like the song. Let me just go ahead and start out by saying that I like the song, so I just decided to write it. But I think the other thing is that what birthed out of that was the fact that we were in year two, three of being there as a staff, building the program, so on and so forth. And I think we were just in that kind of show the world phase after we played that. So much so that we ended up having I think it's a 3-part miniseries called Show the World, that documented us doing our Dallas tour. So if you haven't seen that, it's also up somewhere. It's called Show the World, Road to the Cotton Bowl. I think that's what it's called. So yeah. All right. But let's keep going. And again, this is fifth quarter 2014. Texas Southern University, and I gotta say it, Texas Southern University, just bringing up Texas Southern University, man, I just want to say my condolences to my high school gent line brother, who I just recently found out passed away on yesterday. So and he went to Texas Southern, and so yeah, it's been difficult since yesterday, but prayer works, and so I just want to say again, condolences to my line brother Calvin, and his family. So yeah, but yeah, so this was Texas Southern Prairie View 2014. So I'm gonna be very honest. I never heard that before. Like, cause I think that once we got finished with Neck, I think we left out of the stands. That's the first time I heard. Hey, man, they was playing. They was playing, like literally, no cap. And I ain't never used that phrase before, but they was playing, absolutely playing. All right. Like I said, so I'm gonna bounce around a lot. I'm going to a lot of different ones. So the next one is going to be Cotton Bowl 2015, I believe. Cotton Bowl 2015. So here we go. don't care what you say. You cannot say, I'm sorry, you just can't. In my opinion, what negative can you say about that, other than the fact that okay, fine, you played, just got paid in the fifth. Like song selection, that maybe you could probably use that as an argument. But people will be like, man, they just sound terrible. Like, where does that come from? Like, I'm just so curious because I'm sorry. I mean, absolutely, there were some moments in there that could have been better. I mean, I think that's with anything, right? But what was the issue? Where was the issue? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Maybe I'm missing it. I wonder, did we play it back? Let's see. Because I really don't remember. All these years run together for me, so I truly don't remember. But if Hop is conducting, we probably played it back. Yep, we did. Where I was, because I'm looking for myself in the stands, but I realized that every time we went to the Cotton Bowl, most of the time I went down to the center of the field on the fifth. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Hop arranged that one. Hop arranged that one. don't think they won this round, but I really like the song, so I think it grooves. Brother Moore, stop grooving down there, thinking about your old school life. That time is over, brother. I'm just saying, man. Just saying. And I think Dr. Lee was still the director at that time. Forgot we played this in the fifth. Completely forgot we played that in the fifth. Wow. That was arranged by me, by the way. There's some groovers in this fifth now. So what I say about this particular fifth, and again, all of these daggone fifths, all these games, all these battles, they tend to run together unless I have them somewhere in my mental Rolodex. For y'all young folks, y'all know y'all don't know what a Rolodex is, but it was on like this little spool daddy, and it has some like paper, and you would write a person's name on it, and then like all of their contact information, and you put it like on your desk. And you go through it, and that's how you like had all your information. So it was your cell phone book without the cell phone part of it. But anyway, Unless it's in the top of my mental Rolodex, I really don't remember a lot of these battles and stuff like that. So I forgot that we played a lot of these songs in the fifth, but I would definitely say that from a song selection position, this was actually a good fifth. Good choices from both of us. I don't think Grambling won a round, but I mean, still, just keeping it honest, keeping it real, just keeping it real. So, like I said, I'm gonna be bouncing around a couple of them, back and forth. So, this one we're going to Jackson. Fifth quarter 2016, I believe, 2016. And remember, I'm trying to pick the quote unquote non-biased videos so that way you can't say that Ricky did something to his videos that made a sound different or something like that. No. And if you notice that on every single video, for the most part, there's consistency in sound across the board. All right, here we go. So yeah, Jackson State 2016. Before I even keep going on this, I slightly remember this one, this fifth. So the one thing I remember about this fifth is the fact that we wanted to make sure that there was variety in everything that we played in the fifth. So I think we played a lot of different genres of music in this one. And I think what happened was Jackson was Jackson. So I think they did a really good job of song selection, one after the other. So yeah. Yeah, I wish they would have played "They Be Optimistic" right there. Like, and ain't nobody asked for this commercial, but I wish they would have played "Their Be Optimistic" at that point. Like, I thought that would have been dope to have a "Be Optimistic" battle, but I don't know if they were playing it at that time. So yeah. That's fair. I would definitely say that had power to it. Definitely had a lot of power to it. Some muddiness in the middle, but hey, yeah. told you we were kind of all over the spectrum as it was related to genre. Definitely think that depends on what your trumpet section is like, right? Unless the fact that everybody got trumpets playing, I mean, a mellophone playing in trumpet territory, that's a whole different conversation, though. remorse.
At Fiverr, we
Hey,
offer.
I didn't ask you about Fiverr. So I'm gonna do one more round of this one, and then I'm gonna go to um, one more. Because remember, like I said, I'm bouncing around today. So unlike what I've done on other days where I stuck on one, I'm gonna be bouncing around to a few of them. So yeah. Either that was a missed phrase, or euphoniums just didn't play that line. Either way, that was Maze Medley. I think Chapman wrote that. Prof. Chapman.
It's so easy to become.
Yeah, it's so easy to be quiet. All right, so we're gonna switch to one more. Let's see. In this one, I think we only did like 3 rounds and out on this one because I think it was late. I think the game ended late or it went over overtime. It was something that happened, and this game ended late. So this one's short. So we're gonna watch this one all the way through. Oh, this is 2015 PV and Texas Southern. music, guys. Y'all know the part. That's the part. That's the problem. So it just fell apart in the middle. Really? Penny? Penny, we on good times now? I agree, Brother Moore. Yep, that was Chapman. I just had an epiphany, but I'm gonna tell y'all later. they decided to play side meat. But I really had an interesting epiphany. This is very interesting. To answer your question, Brother Moore, obviously that's Rick, that's Prop Hop, that's me, and this little person here is my oldest daughter. I tried to bring her, or at least my family, along to almost every event or game that we did. So, just to answer your question. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the end of the battle. Yeah, it was. So I'm gonna let you guys know. So I had an epiphany, right? In the moment of watching these battles today, and even throughout this past week, right? I just had a thought. When we were going through this process, with the storm from 2012 to, um, 2016, 2017, one of the things that we constantly talked about specifically was making sure that we had a variety of music within our book. You know, we had R&B charts, obviously, because of you know, Rick. We wanted to make sure that we had some jazz charts in there, and I know that Prof. Ed had some jazz charts that we had brought back. And then we wanted to make sure we had some old school stuff in there. Like, so we had a variety of things. And I think one of the things that we continuously always said is that we wanted to make sure that when we went into the fifth, that we wanted to make sure that we showed and displayed the variety of the book that we had. I say that to say, watching these battles, it's really interesting to watch the decisions that we made as far as the song selections and choices that we made. And even going through those processes, one of the things that we always wanted to say was, anytime we walked into a fifth, and I'm pretty sure that's still the conversation now, but anytime we walked into a game, a fifth, or whatever, we always wanted to make sure that we stayed true to who we wanted to be and not wanting to be like someone else. And so when watching these fifths now, looking back at it, I understood the rationale as to, why some songs were chosen or whatever. But I'm also realizing, here was the epiphany part, I'm also realizing why some would think or feel as though, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, as though PV was not good or whatever. From a sound clarity perspective, when you start going back and looking at all of these, there's not necessarily a bad sound coming out of the storm, right? And anybody who wants to just be fair and listening and actually really just diving into, deep and just really saying, okay, let me take off my bias ears and let me just be honest. There's not a bad sound that's coming out, but I will say this: song selection does matter. It didn't matter to us in the moment. And I'm gonna say it like this. No, let me rephrase that, because it did matter to us in the moment. But in our thought process, we wanted to make sure that we controlled the narrative of who we were. But when I listen back to this, I mean, I think that we had some good battles. I think that there were some ones that, song selections was on point from us to whoever we were playing. But then I think there were just some that just was kind of like, well, why did we play that? It wasn't like the song itself was terrible, or even the execution of said song was terrible. It's more or less just kind of like, why do we play that? Like, that just wasn't a good response or a good answer to said thing, right? Or to said previous song. But I think the other half of that is, if we look at it from round to round, right? So if we started the round, in my opinion, we controlled the round. But here's a really good question. And this is not a PV question. This is like a general question. When it comes to the fifth, is every round in an individual statement, or should every round build upon the previous round? That is something that I just really just had a thought. Right? So if my band starts the first round, I play whatever I play, and then the following band plays whatever they play, right? Whether it is a rebuttal to the original song, the first song that was played, or whether they just decided to go left field and play whatever it is they wanted to play. The question is, after that round, do I come back with something that rebuts the previous song that the other band played, or do I start fresh and play a completely different song? And then if I do that, does that mean that that was poor song selection? Or does that just mean that I'm going from the thought process of each battle or each round is its own thing? Like that was the epiphany that I had. That was literally the epiphany that I had. And I was just really curious about that because of the fact that, again, I can understand listening back now how an outsider who was not a part of, what we do or anything like that, who was not a part of the decision making, so on and so forth, I can understand how somebody could listen to it and be like, well, how did you play that? Or why did you play that? Or this just was not a good battle, or this was just not a good song selection, or all of these different things, right? I can get it. But then again, how is it changed? Or how is it measured? I think that's what it is. Brother Moore, today's people review as round by round. In the 80s, it was started off with a statement song, and then all following songs are responses to the previous song. Social media is changing. In fact, I think directors come in with a set list based on how many rounds they agreed upon before arriving. That may be that very well. That may be very true. And that's an interesting way to look at it. But if that's the interesting way to look at it, then the question becomes then if it's based round for round, then why do people ask, well, why did you play that in the fifth? If the person who starts the fifth off, that's really the person who leads the round. Whatever band starts the fifth off, that's the group that leads the round. And if that's the group that leads the round, then they, in my opinion, dictate whatever the response is from band two. And if that be the case, and if it's round for round, then if I play a rap daddy for the first round, and then band two plays a rap daddy for the second round, then if I turn around and play a country song for the first round, we still in first round. So if I play a rap daddy in the first round, band two plays a rap daddy in the first round. If I turn around in the second round and play a country song, then no one should sit and say, well, why did they play that? In my opinion, if it's round for round. So I think that's one of the things that I just had an epiphany about. But again, today the visiting band almost always leads out, so the home band is the last band to play. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, if that's the case, the visiting band, in my opinion, if it's round for round, the visiting band controls the round. If it's round for round. And then in that round, if the visiting band knocked the home band out, then so be it. In my opinion. But again, I brought this receipts thing, man, because I just wanted to make sure. Again, this started from Talk That Talk. This didn't start because Dr. Zachary Zcast, and so I am not saying that I am connected to this, but I did want to bring this up or I did start doing this because of an episode of Talk That Talk. And, I just wanted to go ahead and say, like, the hate that PV gets is really odd to me because PV has not had terrible years. Like, I don't really understand where that comes from. I don't understand where that thought process comes from. Now, again, based on what I've just said, I can understand why people are like, yo, The song selection is, X, Y, and Z. Okay, fine. That is a valid argument. Again, based on how you judge fifths. Because we ain't talking about the games because they barely play in the games now. So that's a whole different conversation. But what I am saying is every band, I don't care what band you are. It can be your favorite band's favorite band. Everybody has had good years and bad years. Every band has sounded bad at some point. Every band has had a phony trumpet section or a phony euphonium section or a phony mellophone section. And so for me, I just couldn't I couldn't understand. And again, this isn't even stemming from now, like in this present moment, because I was seeing that back when we were there doing 2012 through 2016, 2017. So it's not like this is something new. Like the PV8 be real. And I just be like, I just couldn't understand where it was coming from. Like I just be sitting back like, dog, there was like no ever good times that you've ever heard from PV. Like not one, really, not one. So that's why this whole receipts thing started. But I am going to make sure that I am an advocate for every band. Let's make that very clear and very abundantly clear. But because I was a part of the storm for those amount of years, for me, it just couldn't fathom for me. So that's why I decided to do this. Let's see, I think I know where it comes from, but that's probably more of a conversation. It goes back to the transition from the real old PV to the Prof Ed era, and it evolved over time from there. I mean, Brother Moore, I'm gonna be very honest. That's a good point. And I even though I worked with the storm, I will not sit here and say that I am a quote unquote storm member. Not gonna do that. But what I will say is this: change is inevitable, and that's with any band. That's with any program. That's with any job. That's with any family. Change is inevitable. And you will not, there can be remnants of things you remember in any band. So again, this is not relegated to the storm. There can be remnants of things you remember in every band, but the truth of the matter is no band, not one, is going to be what you remember it was during the time that you marched. I'm literally through a 1-year span, a band can change. And that can be through a director change. That can be through new traditions that were started. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's even now as I look at the Legion, I mean, the Legion to me, there are things about the Legion that's not reminiscent of what I remember, but there are things that I do see that I do remember. And that doesn't, and I'm not saying that they're bad. I don't think they're bad at all. I think they're great. But change is inevitable. And if the hate comes from regime changes and slight nuances that change within the program, so on and so forth, I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel. I definitely am not, because people are connected to their band programs. They are, some people are very passionate about their band programs, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to tell you how to feel. All I'm going to say is change is inevitable. And those nuances, man, while they hurt, I mean, it's a reality. The Willow Ridge that I marched in when I was in high school is not the same Willow Ridge today. Congratulations on them. They just got a 1 UIL. I think they've had 2 to 3 consistent ones. Congratulations. But it's not the same band that I marched in at all. And that's something that myself and a lot of alumni have to accept. And I accepted it a while ago. Some people have not. It just is what it is. So I think I don't know, is grace the best word to be able to describe that? I think that grace has to be given. I think that understanding has to be given when you have these regime changes and culture shifts, so on and so forth. I mean, we're talking about a bigger band here. The PVs of the world, and heck, the Southerns, the Jacksons. Because the 2016 Jackson ain't the same Jackson that we see today. I can tell you that. Let's be real. It's not. But I mean, let's be real too. These, like I said, we're talking about bigger band programs. How about the smaller ones, where none of the traditions are exactly what they were? None of them. And sometimes it's for the better. We also have to be very honest in saying that some programs need a regime change. Let's just call it what it is. Some programs are so stuck in tradition that they don't know how to get out of it, and a regime change kind of helps it along a little bit. Multiple facets, multiple situations. But again, my job and my thing is to continuously be an advocate for all programs, big or small. But again, the whole reason why I decided to do this, man, is I just couldn't figure out where the hate comes from. And, maybe I never will. Maybe it'll be left in the comments one day. Maybe it won't. Maybe somebody will come out and say, man, Luke, I'm gonna just be very honest with you, man. This is what it is from the consensus of people. We'll never know. It possibly may happen. But this has actually been fun. It actually gave me a chance to go down memory lane with a time where I spent a lot of time, with the Storm in that band room, with Hop and Rick and Chapman and Gordon while he was there, Dr. Zachary and Sean, Miss Sean. Y'all know her as Miss Sean. I've known her since I was like 18 years old. So, but just that whole group and that staff, and just some of the good times, and made me think about some of the bad times too. So you all helped me go down memory lane. So I appreciate y'all for that. But outside of that, man, you guys go back, watch some of these. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I didn't put out there. Not fifth quarters, but zero quarters, games, halftime shows, you name it, they're all out there. But I mean, obviously you all know that, but go check it out, man. You'll probably get a different perception if you one of those people who had that hate in your heart. You got to get that hate out your heart. Other than that, man, no, I appreciate you guys for checking in with me, man, and also just coming through and just saying, hey, man, I appreciate it. That's what I appreciate, man. So you guys keep lighting that comment section up. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button, man. Also, remember, you can get anything from the store. You can get 30% off that purchase that you get from the store. Just type in HBCU band. Again, you can get 30% off your purchase. Just type in HBCU band. Again, this has been dope. It's been fun. No more receipts after this. Sorry, there's not going to be any more lives, or at least not receipts lives after this. I may pop in every now and then and go live, but other than that, man, no, this has been great. I appreciate you guys, man. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.